Mixed in with all the home runs and the great defense, a ton of guts and determination for the Cardinals this year. They just play baseball the right way. They hang in there. They hustle. And when they hustle, they put themselves in position to do the fantastic, like Edmonds did in Cincinnati. Tonight, the epitome of guts and determination is on the mound for the Cardinals as Chris Carpenter, the right-hander, takes on the San Diego Padres. Next on FSN Midwest. Well, the sun came up today, and there's another game tonight. And these days, that means the Cardinals should walk away with their 88th victory of the year. Who knows if it'll happen that way? Last night, we had some fun as the Cardinals banged out 9 runs. Thanks to 4 home runs. Jim Edmonds had a couple of them. That pretty swing knocked 2 out of the park. Crowd was chanting for Edmonds to take a curtain call when Renneria went deep to left. And then in the 8th inning, why not? Albert Pujols, a 2-run shot, made it 9-3. And that's the way it ended. Welcome to the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Joe Buck along with Al Roboski. Tonight it's Chris Carpenter on the mound. And last night we saw the good defense. The same old thing, man. I mean, it becomes repetitive, but that's a good thing these days, the way this team's played.
It sure is. This team is so much fun to watch. Every component, whether it's pitching, is outstanding. The defense is outstanding. The hitting is awesome.
Well, the Cardinals have some new faces, and not really totally new faces, but guys that are back and available to Tony La Russa. And obviously, we know plenty about Herron and Cody McKay. We know he's got a great knuckleball, along with being a good catcher. And Ray Langford. The most interesting guy on that list is Rick Ankiel, and I'm sure everybody can't wait for the first time he gets out on the mound. He's going to be successful, and this place, I'm sure, will really support him.
They will, and his teammates are going to support him, the entire organization. And I think what people have to bear in mind is this guy has earned the right to come back up here. He's pitched that well through the minor leagues. You know, before he had the Tommy John surgery, his control problems were cured. So let's forget about that. He has pitched himself back into favor because he throws strikes now. He's got that good curveball. The fastball was back. Everything is right there for him, and I think he can be a weapon out of the bullpen, and I'm not going to be surprised when we see him make a start in that one stretch at the end where we plays 20 straight days.
And I would say in the next couple nights, tonight or tomorrow night, we may see him in a ball game for Tony La Russa. When we come back, Ray King will talk about his phenomenal catcher, Mike Matheny, and the way he hustles. Now he is always giving the most for the Cardinals. That'll be on the other side of the break as we get ready for the Cardinals.
Cardinals baseball rolls on tonight. Game number 2 here from downtown St. Louis. Another crowd of 30,000 plus as the Cardinals look to make it 2 straight over the San Diego Padres. Our guest for this segment of Cardinals baseball is reliever Ray King. We were talking prior to the game how guys, no matter what the score, what the situation, this team, it seems like from the first pitch to the last pitch, always plays hard.
It just shows the character of our ball club to where a lot of teams you can be up by 14, 15 runs. You can just, you know, fly ball. If I can't get there, I'm not going to dive. Or doesn't take it a bat serious. Don't take a pitching out of serious. They can come back and hunt you. But we got guys in the locker room that play every game if we're down by a game where we got to win this game to tie it up.
How about last night? You're in the ball game, 9th inning, 1 out, no runners on, and it's 9-3. And your battery mate behind the plate, Mike Matheny, just doing the little things there.
Well, you know, last night, situation right there where he came in the game last night, Mike said, let's work on a changeup. I was like, well, I've been bouncing a couple. He's like, hey, just throw it, I'll block it. And you even look at Mike, even when he's warming up the catcher down, I'm warming up the pitcher to come in the ball game. If the ball's in the dirt, he's blocking it. Mike has got the ball get past, and he's very upset about it. It just shows the character of our team to where Mike is our leader, and everybody see him blocking balls in the 9th inning. That gives everybody else that spunk to say, hey, if he can do it in the 9th inning, we can do it also.
Good stuff. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, good luck tonight. That's Ray King, Cardinal reliever. Cardinals baseball, game number 2, Padres and Cardinals is coming up.
Chris Carpenter is the Cardinals half of the Advanced Auto Parts pitching matchup. He is in search of win number 14.
He's been outstanding. He walks very few. He controls the strike zone with that great curveball and sinking action. He is definitely the leader of this staff.
Pujols has got it.
Drew out in front. Pujols, a nice play to his left. The race. Got it. He does does a lot of that, signing autographs. We look at the defense for the Cardinals. We go around the horn, brought to you by Auto Tire. Sanders, Edmonds, and Walker in the outfield. Pujols, third among National League first basemen with his fielding percentage. And Chris Carpenter has been ready to go for about a minute, but because the clock doesn't say 7:10, he is having to wait. And now the umpires say, all right, that's enough. The clock's broken. It's not going to move to 7:10. There it is, 7:10. Now we're official. Go ahead and pitch to Freddie Guzman. And after that long wait, a strike hits the inside corner. Guzman last night was 0 for 4. He's under 200, as you see, with that average. Yet he remains in the top spot in the lineup for Bruce Bochy. The wild card is getting tighter by the minute. The Cubs and Giants start the day tied atop the National League wild card race. The Padres are a half game out. The Astros are 2.5 games out. Florida's leading at the Mets 3-1 in the middle innings there. They might be only 2.5 games out before this game is finished. This is unbelievable. 2 balls and a strike on Guzman.
It's great. It's great for baseball. Keep all these franchises entertained. All think they've got a shot. How about Carpenter's good fastball? 4 very good pitches. When he keeps the ball down, he gets a lot of ground balls.
Here's a 2-2 pitch, and goodbye, Freddie Guzman. 1 down as that good breaking ball gets the leadoff man. Mark Loretta will be the hitter, and this lineup for Bruce Bochy will try to figure out Carpenter. Not many teams have this season. Guzman, Loretta, their big bats. Giles, Nevin, Klesko, Burrows, Khalil Green, the rookie, Ramon Hernandez, and Adam Eaton. Same lineup as we had last night. Except Eaton, a 9-game winner, starts tonight. Lawrence, a 13-game winner, was on the mound last night.
Very good ball club, and nobody having a better year than Loretta. Leads all National Leaguers in hits.
That's on the inside corner, a ball and a strike. Talk about leading the league in hits. Ichiro has got a legitimate chance at setting the all-time hits record for a single season.
Well, you know, Loretta has 177 to lead the National League, and then about a week ago Ichiro had 200.
Ichiro is up to 212, 213, 212. Amazing. 3 balls and a strike on Mark Loretta. The other surprising part about Ichiro is that he's part of a Seattle team that by the All-Star break was out of it. And a guy who was on the Padres bench, Aurelia, was cut loose. Olrud, who's now playing for the Yankees, was turned loose. Edgar Martinez going to retire at the end of the year. That wasn't much of a swing on a 3-1 count. Full count.
I mean, absolutely overpowers him on a sinking fastball, and guy that's a very good contact hitter looked lost.
A 1-out walk. So a strikeout is followed by a walk. And now it's Brian Giles walking to the plate. Giles homered last night, has 19 on the year. So Matheny is out to talk. Matheny goes back behind the plate. We heard from Ray King just before we rejoined you from the booth about last night and the hustle and a little small thing that didn't go unnoticed by the Cardinal personnel. Matheny hustling despite a 9-3 lead. 1 on, 1 out, strike 1 from Carpenter.
Well, the interesting thing that I thought was Mike suggested this is a perfect time to work on your changeup. He said, well, I've been bouncing it. He said, don't worry, you throw it, I'll block it. But you know, Mike Matheny takes advantage of that situation and say, well, it's time for me to work on my balls in the dirt.
That makes it 0-2 in a hurry on Giles.
And the very good point that Ray King made was that when we see our leader Mike Matheny blocking balls in the 9th inning with a big lead, boy, that just inspires us to do our jobs too.
Here's an 0-2. Giles looks at it outside.
Sometimes it takes a little time to get that breaking ball under control. It's a big weapon for Carpenter. He can throw it at different speeds. One to get over, a lollipop, and then one to put you away. Nothing fancy. Number 1.
left side, and Renteria was playing up the middle. So he can't get to it, and it's 2 on with 1 out.
A piece of hitting there by Giles. He just kind of shot for the opposite field as he saw they were shifting in the infield. Watch the ball out of the way and watch the stroke. See, he concentrated on going down on the ball, hitting on the ground, but placing it to where the defenders weren't.
So now with 2 on 1 out, here's Phil Nevin. A walk, a hit, and a scoring chance for the Padres, who come into this game 71 and 60, 6 games out in the West. As we mentioned, a half out in the wild card. That's just outside ball 1.
Phil and his wife were very helpful to Flynn Kyle and getting her back to St. Louis after the tragedy. And of course, I asked him about how Flynn doing. She said she broke her leg the other day.
That should end the inning. Renteria backs up 6-4-3
on a motorcycle.
So Flynn Kyle's riding motorcycle. She broke her leg. We go through a half inning in St. Louis. That was the lineup where you're paying attention. Anderson, Walker, Pujols, Rolen, Edmonds, Renteria, Sanders, Matheny, and then Carpenter. Marlon Anderson first in there, hitting .226, and the Cardinals giving him a spot start here. Try to get that bat going again. Such a big weapon for the Cardinals in the first half off the bench. Strike 1 on a 92-mile-an-hour fastball from Adam Eaton. Breaking ball misses, a ball and a strike.
Well, Eaton has the ability to be a number 1. They make the comparison a lot with his style of pitching with Darryl Kyle. Command of the curveball is a key for him. And apparently, as Trevor Hoffman told me, he has trouble in the first inning. But he has the ability to be the number 1 starter on their staff.
How about the guy going tomorrow? Jake Peavy is 11-3.
And look at the ERA.
There's strike 3 on the inside corner. Marlon Anderson is gone. Peavy will carry a 2.25 ERA with him to the mound tomorrow night. We look at Khalil Green as we give you the Padres defense. Green and Loretta, the double play combination up the middle. Nevin and Burrows on the corners. Plesko and Giles in the outfield with Guzman in the middle. Made a nice diving catch last night. Here's Larry Walker.
Mitchell Page said he has had a lot of success against this starter.
And that's into center field. Might go. It sounded good. It looks good. 1-0 St. Louis. I guess Mitchell Page was right.
Is that the definition of success? Didn't waste any time. First pitch swinging, and he hits his 11th home run. 5th home run as a Cardinal. RBI total up to 37, 17 as a Redbird, and a 1-0 lead for St. Louis.
Now it's Albert. He takes the ball. First pitch, hacking, and Larry Walker sends one over the wall in center. Here's a 1-0. 2-0. Two used to battle in the National League West, and so plenty of action for Larry Walker against Eaton. Now he has 4 home runs and a career average of .317 against him. 3-0 on Pujols with Rolen on deck. Pujols 327, 41, 103. He's taking.
See if you remember this, but Eaton faced the Cardinals, or will be facing them for the 3rd time in his career, and the 1st time since July 13, 2003 at Busch Stadium. In that game, he only threw 2/3 of an inning, allowing no hits after being ejected for hitting Albert Pujols.
I remember that. I was watching that online and with my pitch by pitch. There was a delay and I was wondering what was going on, and then I found out that there was a little scrum. Here's Scott Rolen, 1 on, 1 out. There's a strike to Rolen. He's hitting .322. Last night had a hit in 5 trips. The Cardinals have by a mile the best record in Major League Baseball now. And the New York Yankees, just to follow up on a story we talked about last night and the whole sports world was talking about today, 22-0 loss last night to Cleveland. And the Indians lead tonight 1-0 with Boston. 5-5 in their game. That's into left center field. Might go back at the wall. Rolen is left the yard, and it's 3-0 Cardinals.
Trevor Hoffman said he has #1 stuff when he can get out of the first inning. Scott Rolen, another ball that's middle half in, not far enough, and the reach of Guzman isn't far enough either. How about 32 home runs and 115 now?
Eaton just pulled the string on Edmonds, strike 1. What a start. Anderson struck out looking. Walker went deep. A walk to Pujols and a 2-run shot by Rolen.
Rolen.
10 RBIs more than Vinny Castilla. 12 more than his teammate Albert Pujols. 17 more than his teammate Jim Edmonds, who is gone on 3 pitches, 2 out. Take another look at the Scott Rolen home run, which will put a smile on little Johnny Ham's face watching out in Los Angeles. So many Cardinal fans across the country tuning in night after night to watch this team roll over the opposition.
That's one end of the spectrum, but Betty Whitney, big Cardinal fan, 88 years young. She's out there in the county. She's rooting for the Cardinals, as she always does.
Yeah, everybody's been rooting a little bit harder this year, and it's paid off. Here's a 1-0 to Renteria into right field. Giles is there, and that does it for the Cardinals in the first. But guess what? They're on the board first, and they went deep, and these fans are loving it again tonight. Walker, Rolen, 3-0 after 1.
You're watching Fox Sports Net.
2 guys who went deep in the first, Rolen and Walker, and now it's Ryan Klesko for San Diego. They got a walk and a hit in their first against Carpenter, but Nevin bounced into a 6-4-3 double play. Klesko hitting .269, had an RBI base hit last night, 53 RBIs on the season, ball 1. A 1-0 from Carpenter is chopped to Marlon Anderson. Klesko doesn't run. He must have injured himself, as he just does get down to first base now. And he goes limping back to the dugout. Take another look and see if we can tell if something happened. And remember, this San Diego team is in a fight for the division or the wild card. They need him.
Out away from him, and look at his leg collapse on him. Groin maybe, and trainers will look at that, but you talked about it last night, what a vicious swing he has. He had a oblique muscle strain earlier this year, and now he had apparently a leg injury. Maybe looked like the ankle.
Sean Burroughs took a strike, now a ball.
Where's High Tops to kind of ease that condition, but looked like the ankle might have rolled over. Looked like he also kind of did grab the groin, but they're paying attention to the ankle. Tape it up.
Here comes a 1-2 to Burrows, hitting 296. It's low. And there's the tape. It's color coordinated to match these stinking blue socks.
Stylish uniforms, right?
Oh yeah. That's tape actually has the same smell as the socks. That's off. Carpenter knocks it down, and that gives Burrows a hit. Had Anderson and Renteria ready to converge on that ball until Carpenter got a glove on it. 1 on, 1 out. Well, the Bud Light 35th annual Jack Buck Golf Classic is scheduled for Monday, September 20th. It's in memory of my father, and it benefits the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. He's the honorary chairman for the Gateway chapter of the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation for over 30 years. It's been a great golf tournament, one of the longest running in this city, and it's out in Norwood, a beautiful golf course, as most of you know. And as we told you, Monday, September 20th, individual golfer price is $500, a fivesome $2,500, and they are looking for golfers. My dad isn't around anymore to promote that great event for a terrific cause, but if you feel so compelled, join them out at Norwood on September 20th. He has a retired flag out in the outfield.
I was just going to sign up, but we're in Milwaukee.
You're in Milwaukee, but I appreciate the thought, and they would appreciate it if you give them a call. 721-2490 is a number if you're interested, and it is a very worthy cause. It's something that was near and dear to his heart. 1 on, 1 out, 2 balls and a strike on Khalil Green, who had 2 hits last night. This guy's impressive. 2 and 2.
It's already set some records. Most extra base hits by a Padres shortstop. Most home runs by a Padres shortstop in their franchise. And still playing in his rookie year.
He went. Green thought he had checked it, but he is rung up by the first base umpire, Dale Scott. And that may be one of the bigger surprises of the night.
Yeah, Phil Nevin was talking about a pitch that he was called out last night, so they must think this crew has some kind of animosity towards him, but he doesn't say anything.
Give him a couple more years of big league experience, that'll change. Dale looks stern over at first.
Crew chief looking hard at it.
A ground out, a base hit, a strikeout, second of the night for Carpenter, and now a strike to Ramon Hernandez. Ramon Hernandez is hitting .274. Last night had a hit. In fact, had an RBI double.
Got 21 home runs from the Padre catchers this year. Last year they only had 7 combined.
That misses, a ball and a strike. Two out in the inning, and Carpenter trying to get around that hit by Burrows. They're already in the bottom of the 6th at Montreal with the Cubs and Expos scoreless. That's a little pop up. Renteria doesn't worry about the shattered bat, grabs it out of the air, and that'll do it for the first 2. They're tucked into the belt of Chris Carpenter. Cardinals 30 Central only on FSN Midwest. That's how the hip hop generation wears their tickets to the game.
Oh yeah.
Leading it off, Reggie Sanders. 3-0. The Cardinals on top in the 2nd. Ball 1 high.
Reggie Sanders, the first player in Major League history to have 20 or more home runs for 6 different teams.
The 1-0. That's down into the corner. He's been on fire. He has 4 out of 5 in this series, and he has a leadoff double. Good to see Klesko okay as he retrieves it out in left after turning that left ankle last half inning. And the Cardinals are back in business here in the 2nd.
Got the big curveball, kept the hands back, pulls the trigger. Sometimes you think of Reggie as a slider bat speed, so When he keeps the weight back on a breaking ball, you're doing him a favor. But a solid connection right there. Very streaky type hitter, and he's on one of the hot streaks now.
Here is Matheny working hard on his batting stroke prior to tonight's game. Here he drops down a bunt, gets Sanders over to third with the first out of the inning, and leaves it up to Carpenter. One unassisted on the sacrifice. Now it's up to Carpenter to drive home the run. Chris is driven home, and this is why you bunt there with a number 8 hitter. Chris has driven home, get this, 1 run all year.
Has 5 hits, but only 1 run driven in.
Now the infield has to creep in. There's always a chance of another bunt and a squeeze play, or they could just let him rip away.
Now you bring in the infield, and it opens up a lot of hitting lanes. They play him way around to the opposite field.
What's it going to be? Sanders was bouncing around over a third, so Eaton steps off.
Burrows, the third baseman, playing off the bag, but jockeying back and forth to kind of make Reggie aware of his presence.
There's ball 1 inside. So Carpenter looks at Oquendo, who is looking at La Russa or somebody else on the bench. He goes through the sign. Sanders is peeking over to his right.
Cardinals do not give a sign with the hitter. He does not say that he has it, which gives it away a lot.
Good breaking ball has Carpenter frozen. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Verbally, the third base coach communicates with the runner at third, but the hitter, a lot of times a hitter would reach the end of his bat or touch his hat, and that was just too elementary that would give away the sign, and defense would pitch out.
Here it is, the squeeze, and Carpenter at least gets the bat on the ball and fouls it.
And that was a very good pitch in on him, and it's almost self-defense. It's only natural to kind of jump away from the ball, and Carpenter did not. So you can't leave too soon if you're the third base runner. And watch where this pitch is. So he's running in on a little sinker and gets the bunt down. Might have been off his knee. You don't have to make a perfect bunt. You do have to put it in fair territory.
Breaking ball, and Carpenter just slaps at it to try to get another pitch, and he's fighting back a smile after that hack.
Well, he's kind of getting a little idea of what it's like facing himself in those breaking balls, because they both possess a very good one. They both have good fastballs. That's why, we say that Eaton can have number one stuff too.
Carpenter yelling at himself as he strikes out on a high fastball. And it's up to Marlon Anderson. That's the 3rd strikeout for Eaton. It's a pre-Labor Day celebration for all Missouri and Illinois labor union members. This Sunday, the Cardinals take on the Dodgers. In honor of Labor Day, the Cardinals have a special party room offer for union members and families. One special price gets you tickets in a party room along with food, beer, and soda. 425-0600 for more information. That'll be on Sunday against LA. Here is Marlon Anderson, and there is strike 1. On Sunday, it'll be Woody Williams against Jeff Weaver, who was moved up to take the start against the Cardinals, and Weaver has been a rock this year for the Dodgers. The former Yankee. Yankees lead now 3-1 in the bottom of the 5th at home over Cleveland. And 5-5 Anaheim and Boston. Marlon Anderson into center. He just hit it too good. It just kept on carrying out to Guzman. Bad break there. We go to the 3rd. Still 3-0 Cardinals. On this Schnucks date in history, Vinegar Bend Mizell beat the Reds 1-0. Cardinal left-hander established a National League record. Everybody read along with me. By walking 9 batters without giving up a run. 9 walks, no runs.
I met the congressman when we had the 100-year celebration.
From Vinegar Bend, Alabama.
No.
That's how he got his nickname.
That's how I did.
Absolutely. How else are you going to get it?
being a little strange.
Could be, but I'm just
being left-handed.
Yeah. Did anybody ever try to use the nickname the Mad Alabaman? No.
No.
Who gave you that, by the way?
Jerry Lovelace. I earned a lot of nicknames.
0-2 the count on Adam Eaton. Carpenter would like to return the favor. That's ball one up and away. Carpenter has almost perspired through one entire hat. Eaton not a bad rip. Still 1-2 on a 93-mile-an-hour fastball.
Well, if he needed a courier service, Access Courier Inc. in St. Louis, they're celebrating their 20th anniversary in business right here in the St. Louis area, doing an excellent job, and want to congratulate them. They're all at the game tonight. They're out in one of the suites. So nice going, guys and gals.
A 1-2. That's up the middle, and a good start. Anderson trying to do all he can, but that's a base hit. The crowd appreciates the effort, and Eaton is on to start the third.
It was a very nice effort, and the crowd does appreciate it. Looks like Davey Lopes questioning Eaton, see if he's okay.
So now Carpenter has to try to get around a leadoff hit by the pitcher. Back to the top. Freddie Guzman is at the plate. Have these uniforms grown on you?
Oh, they
at all?
Yeah.
They don't look bad from back here, because you can't really see that color that well. But when they're all lit up like that, you see that look at it. I don't get it. I don't see it.
Well, they kind of hide the dirt.
Here's a 1-0. Guzman. He is the definition of a slap hitter. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, Guzman started at Double-A this year, had 17 steals there. At the time of his promotion, he was playing Triple-A and leading the Pacific Coast League with 48 more. Got off to a good start in the big leagues. He hit safely in his first 6 games, but since then it's been a grind. And they're kind of overexposing him, these good pitchers.
Here comes a 1-1 from Carpenter. Off the hands, 1-2.
Padres have a whole bunch of outfielders in their system, but they don't really have anybody that can play center field.
Kerry Robinson is back with the ball club.
Yes, he is. A sock carry today.
1-2 pitch, and they're only going to get one. They're going to get it at first. Down to second is Eaton, 1 out. 1-3 on the put out. Loretta will be the hitter, a National League leader in hits. Cardinals Cares looking for volunteers to roam Busch Stadium during the annual Jerseys Off Our Backs Day this Sunday. All fans of the game will have the opportunity to donate $1 for scratch-off raffle tickets for the chance to win an autographed game-used Cardinal jersey. If you want to volunteer, contact them at 314-516-0132 or volunteers at stlcardinals.com. You have to be 16 years or older. Loretta walked his first time, takes a curveball a bit high, ball 1. That's into center field, easy for Edmonds. Eaton is tagging but not going anywhere. He's read the newspaper. But that little one-hop throw from Edmonds, 2 out.
Yeah, Joe, we saw Marlon Anderson dive for a ball and try to make exceptional play. You see Jim Edmonds has a perfect opportunity to kind of practice his throws as if a guy is tagging up and running.
And Langford is back and active and ready to go tonight. Flanked by Tony Womack and Roger Cedeno. Cody McKay is here. And you cannot say enough the way Cody McKay handled himself when he got sent out by the Cardinals. Everything he said was right on, and I'm sure made his father and mother very proud with the way he handled the disappointment of being shipped out in favor of that other guy who's going to be around for a long time. And there's Rick Ankiel, who's out in the bullpen and
Pitch
available
on Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday. So
yeah, he could be available anytime now. Probably one more day, but there's his last outing, his first one at AAA, and outstanding.
3-0 on Giles with Nevin on deck. Just talking to a few guys, and I saw Rick from a distance tonight, but talking to a few guys that were around him today, they notice a change in Rick. A little more mature, and I'm sure anxious, but not to the point of it working against him to get out on the mound at some point in the next couple of nights. They were really pleased with what they saw as he made his way back up through the system.
Well, he could be a major distraction to what's going on here, and you know, you see the Kevin Towers in the middle of Walt Jockey, and
that ends the inning. Talk more about Rick Ankiel when we come back. Those two might be discussing that. Jockey, Towers. Co-direct moment, quote of the day in this clubhouse. We just want to see him pitch well and get a reward for all the work he has done to make it back, from Mike Matheny in today's St. Louis Post-Dispatch. And that was the point that you made at the beginning. And it's something that I'm sure could be lost easily. But Rick Ankiel did not just get a call up to check his temperature and see how he does and make sure he's not bouncing the ball to the plate and all that. He pitched extremely well at every level of the minor league system, and with all of the great pitching stuff he has, deserves to be here, and the Cardinals are anxious to get a look at him, see if he can help them in the postseason.
Well, they also have to make a determination, is his future with the Cardinals, because he's out of options. So this year he's on the roster, but you know, he has to stay in St. Louis next year.
Look at the strikeout to walk ratio.
Well, that's it. You know, I mean, what was it, 2-23?
Yeah.
ERA under 1. And you know, before he had the Tommy John surgery, they were seriously thinking about calling him up at that time. But then he had the elbow problems. The control was really a thing of the past. It's now just, you know, he had the Tommy John surgery. He's pitched very well. So I don't think anybody should make an issue of control problems. And by what he's done this year in the minor leagues, it documents that.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Walker, who took the first pitch he saw in the first and hit it out to center. Now he gets a base hit up the middle. Eaton has seen enough of Walker. We thought he was finally finished with Larry Walker after Larry was traded out of the NL West.
One final note on Rick Ankiel: he's only 25.
But your memory is better than mine. Now I remember at the time when he was pitching well and they were about to call him up. Then the report came out that he had injured his elbow and he needed surgery and all that, and the reaction was more, well, what a terrible break. This kid can't catch a break. He deserved to be here, and now he needs arm surgery. And now he's worked his way back to being healthy. He's been effective in the minor leagues at every level, dominant. And now he's got to carry it one more step.
And remember too, with Steve Klein being out 3 to 4 weeks, the minor league seasons are over. So where is he going to get his? It's not like you can go down to the minor leagues and rehab, get yourself back. There is a very important slot that Rick Ankiel could fill in a postseason roster.
And just to clear something up, because he was on the disabled list,
yes,
and he was rehabbing, he was part of the roster and on the DL, he is eligible to be on the postseason roster, even though he was officially reinstated today on the 1st of September. Albert Pujols hits it into center field. Back is Guzman for out number 1. That's why the Cardinals recalled Danny Herron, though, yesterday, to make sure that he was available if he was needed. If he is needed for the postseason roster, he is eligible because he was reinstated yesterday. Our Bank of America higher standards. The home run balls have been flying out of this stadium. Walker first, then a 2-run shot from Scott Rolen on the heels of 4 last night from the Cardinals against San Diego pitching. Ball 1 to Scott.
Phil Nevin was telling Scott Rolen about the playing surface at Petco Park in San Diego, the new facility there. He said it's outstanding.
That takes a good play from Burrows. They got that. Loretta in the middle. They got them both. That was brilliantly turned by Burrows and Loretta. A good dig on the back end by Nevin. Still 3-0. Larry Walker was involved in the double play in the middle. He tried to break it up, but it was nicely turned, Al, by Burrows. Loretta really all the way around.
Yeah, I mean, look at Loretta, kind of awkward the way he stood his ground and kind of jumped backwards. You don't get a lot on the throw, but he had enough by a nice scoop by Phil Nevin. Close play at first, but Larry Walker going in hard, but the defense was good enough to turn it.
Nevin gets to lead it off. Phil bounced into a 6-4-3 double play his first time with 2 on, 1 out at the time. There's strike 1. Carpenter's allowed 3 hits, but they've been spread out, 1 in each inning.
Double play kind of remind me of Tom and Dave and the Dave Glover show. Those two guys are a pretty good double play combination.
Oh yeah. Here's a strike into Nevin. It's 0-2. Nevin hitting .310, takes a strike right down the middle. He was not expecting an 0-2 fastball, and Nevin still standing. What's he upset about? Tomorrow the Cardinals take on the Padres in the finale of this 3-game set. Will it be the rubber game, or will the Cardinals be going for the sweep on the air at 6:30 tomorrow night with Cardinals Tonight? Nevin's acting like that pitch was in the dirt. He's walking. He's just now getting back into the dugout after arguing with a home plate umpire.
Now he's saying a few things. He just got tossed.
How about that? This San Diego team is in a battle for a wild card, and this guy Nevin gets kicked out of the game for complaining about a pitch that looked like it was right down the middle.
Well, let's take a look at it. And Tony Muser, one of Bochy's coaches, but a very slow walk. He didn't leave the dirt period for a while, and then a slow walk back. And then he kind of threw his batting gloves out there. He did turn, and I was watching him say something to Brian Gorman, the home plate umpire, and it didn't take long before he was tossed. Let's see if he has legitimate beef.
It's our Hardy's hot pitch of the game. An 0-2 pitch. I mean, you cannot split the plate any better than that.
I mean, I don't know if Matheny was set up outside or something, but
boy, how about that range by Rolen? 2 out.
All right. Third baseman has anything he can get to his left.
Let's just to satisfy the curiosity, let's get the other angle of that strike 3 called on Nevin and see where Matheny was set up.
Well, he's set up outside, but it looks like he just threads the needle on the outside corner. A pitcher's pitch, but I mean, you got to give the pitcher a little credit.
It certainly was not a pitch that deserved some crazy response.
No.
Acting like that was the ball that bounced in there was up around the letters. As Burrows is in the hole in a blink, 0-2. So that hurts. San Diego battling for wild card position, and they lose one of their big threats, Nevin, who's knocked in 83 runs this year.
And you know, Chris Carpenter's the guy that's earned the right to get some of those pitches too.
0-2. There are guys in Atlanta who have made a combined $330 million getting strikes on pitches like those. Here's another 0-2 to Burrows with 2 out. And that is as easy as it gets for Matheny. That'll do it. Another 1, 2, 3 innings. Put up by Chris Carpenter. Part of it in the middle. Scott Rolen ranging far to his left. How far did he go? That far for out number 2. 3-0 into the bottom of the 4th. Cards have out hit San Diego 4-3, lead 3-zip, and it'll be Edmonds, Renteria, and Sanders. Anybody gets on Matheny for the Cardinals. Edmonds his first time struck out. Carol Obermeyer is a St. Louisan living in San Diego. Sister Joan is here, and knowing that Carol is watching back in San Diego, she says hello. Enjoying Cardinal baseball from a great distance. 1 ball, 1 strike on Edmonds. Look at what Jim Edmonds did in July and August this year compared to last year. 368 average this year. 23 home runs, 51 RBIs.
And it seemed like he even struggled further in September. It seemed like his average was about 204 for the second half, but not this year. He's been on a tear.
Here's a 1-2 to Jim. 2 balls, 2 strikes. We told you yesterday he was working before the game with Mark McGuire, taking batting practice with McGuire watching him, and then last night he goes out and hits 2 home runs like he got the little Midas McGuire magical touch.
And yes, he worked on it again today.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Edmonds' expressions during the course of a game are fun to watch and track. Whether he's at the plate or out in center. 3-2 pitch. And he's jammed, fights it off, and that ball will get out of play. Where Terrence Long is taken over and left. He bats in the spot vacated by the rejected and dejected Phil Nevin, and Ryan Klesko moves from left field to first. He's eating sunflower seeds at a rapid pace. Another 3-2 pitch from Eaton to Edmonds. The second time tonight Edmonds strikes out, and a good fastball gets him again. 4 strikeouts for Eaton. This portion of Cardinal baseball on FSN Midwest brought to you by Advance Auto Parts. We're ready in advance. By Aflac. Ask about it at work. And by Rico. How well do you print, copy, scan, fax? How well do you share? 1 out, nobody on for Edgar Renteria. And strike 1 from Eaton. Evie Borelsaw. Hello to Evie from Lauren and Frank. Actually, that's Laverne and Frank. Hello, Laverne. That phrase made famous by one Squiggy on Laverne and Shirley, who is now a scout for the Dodgers.
Is he taken serious?
High and tight, 2-1.
I know he takes it serious.
All I know is when I was a little kid and I saw that guy in Pittsburgh hanging around the press box, and then I saw him in LA one time, it was the greatest moment of my young life. My God, that Squiggy. 3-1. Hello.
Are you still pleased as easily?
No, it takes a little more. Like if I saw Lenny now, I'd really be excited. Carmine. That's fouled off to the right. 3-2. Tony La Russa is not cruising. He is in high gear night after night, and tries to make sure his team is, and they have responded night after night. To his left, you can just see how good Green is by the jump he got on that ball. He was moving, it seemed, before the ball hit the bat of Renteria. 2 out.
And that's what has impressed the Padres. They knew he would hit, but they are absolutely thrilled to death that he has played as well defensively. Made 18 errors, but for the most part, they're very, very happy with his glove work.
So now it's Reggie. He doubled his first time, then was left on when the Cardinals bunted with Matheny. Tried the squeeze play with Carpenter. He eventually struck out after fouling the ball on the squeeze play, and then Anderson lined out to center. There's a strike, and at the knees. Danny Herron is back, and I think we saw a glimpse in that Pittsburgh start that he made here, that split doubleheader, Al, how good this guy's going to be. And we finally saw, I think, the at times overpowering stuff that Mike Matheny talked about before and after that start he made against the Pirates.
He was pitching too well at AAA just to discount what he did, or to think that he's not going to have some success up here.
I think you're looking at two guys there that are going to be a big part of the Cardinal rotation next year, Ankiel and Aaron.
Joe, they really have to be. You know, with all the money that's allocated, and remember, you're trying to sign the Mike Matheny's, the Renterias. Some guys are due big raises, other guys are arbitration eligible, and you've got to take care of a few of those guys and have some of the bargain basement guys on this staff. Of course, I'm not sure Ankiel was put in that category either, though. Just doesn't have a lot of leverage.
3 balls and a strike on Sanders.
But he's off that big contract now. What happens to Matt Morris? What happens to Woody Williams? Jason Marquis is going to be eligible for arbitration for the first time.
He is putting together the kind of year that will make him a rich man. That's a 2-out walk to Reggie Sanders.
Jason's going to be a papa pretty soon. Got a chance to go visit his wife. She left homestand or so ago to go back up her parents and up to the Northeast.
Jason is putting together a year that the Atlanta Braves evidently didn't think he was capable of putting together. He's a 13-game winner against only 4 losses and an ERA of 3.5.
Not really, because John Scherholz told me that he told Walt Jockney he's going to win 15 games for you.
Yeah, but I'd say that too after I just traded the guy. I mean, that's easy
right
to
now,
say on the way out the door. If you thought that, then keep him.
Well, but they needed offense.
They also needed pitching.
They were at the point, the Atlanta Braves, they said that if they didn't make that trade to get J.D. Drew, they were going to petition the commissioner's office to not let any ball hit to right field.
I feel so sorry for them in Atlanta. Oh.
That was a good trade for both clubs.
No doubt about that.
Mike, we talked last night about Hernandez coming to San Diego and sending Kotze up to Oakland.
Sanders is running, got a good jump, and he is safe. But you will never convince me that John Scherholz was 100% serious when he said he'll win 15 games for us next year. They had him bouncing up and down between AAA and the big leagues. There's no way that they envisioned it turning around this quickly for Jason Marquis. Otherwise, it would have. I mean, he's not making any money this year, and they're struggling for pitching with John Thompson and
but they
Bird and all those guys.
Personality clash, change of scenery.
So you can't convince me. I don't care what you say. We go into the 5th inning. Cardinals lead behind Chris Carpenter, not Marquis.
You're watching Fox Sports Net.
There it is. How about that? Rather foul part of our broadcast. Sorry. Who was the Padres' first manager? Does Kerry Robinson know that? He's a guy that likes baseball history. He's a guy that likes hockey. He's probably all excited for the World Cup, which I can't get enough of. Khalil Green hits the first pitch on one hop to Rolen. 1 out. 1 pitch, 1 out in the 5th. Carpenter keeps on rolling. And we go to the number 8 hitter, Ramon Hernandez. Who was the Padres' first manager? I know Jerry Coleman was.
I was just talking with Jerry. How about Preston Gomez?
Oh, that's good.
I don't know if that's accurate.
That's a real good guess.
I know your dad thought the world of Preston.
Oh, yeah.
What a class act he was. Remember he came here as a coach?
Oh, yeah. Tony La Russa, whenever the Cardinals were out there in San Diego, would catch up with him. With one out, a 1-0 pitch is wide, 2-0 to Hernandez.
You know, anxious to go out there and see a good friend who grew up in St. Louis, Dave Garcia.
A little clunker over to third. Rolen a nice play. 2 out.
You know how tough that is for you. 6'4", 240. Take a ball off your shoe tops as you're charging in, and then right yourself and throw on the run. I mean, he just makes things look so easy, but this is not an easy play.
Those of us with disc problems can only.
It hurts, doesn't it?
You just weep looking at that part right there.
Right there. And not fall on your face.
Be able to walk without a limp after that. With 2 out, nobody on, here's Adam Eaton, and there's a strike from Carpenter. Now Carpenter is going to bear down during this at bat by Eaton. Eaton struck out Carpenter with a runner at third, 1 out. Then Eaton turned around and got a base hit off Chris. So I would push all my chips into the middle of the table and say Chris Carpenter will get the final out of this inning right here against Eaton, who obviously gets a good rip at these pitches. But he's not mailing in this duel. Chris Carpenter, he wants to get him. And he wants it down, and there's a good breaking ball. Eaton is gone. We go to the bottom of the 5th, halfway through it. Cardinals trying to win the first 2 of this series against the Padres, up 3. Our Aflac trivia question: who was the Padres' first manager? And the answer, Al got it right. I wouldn't have. Preston Gomez. Davey Lopes, now one of the coaches for Bruce Bochy, is hanging out and watching as the pitch is down and into Chris Carpenter. Strikeout victim his first time up. We're underway in the bottom of the 5th. 3-0 the Cardinals lead thanks to a 3-run first. A home run by Walker, a 2-run shot by Rolen. That's it. Carpenter is taking care of the rest on the mound. And Eaton has been pretty good since for San Diego. Big breaking ball is inside, 2-1.
Mary Gansman, Belleville, Illinois, 89 years young. She's here tonight with her son-in-law, Gary, and Darlene Gansman. Seen her first game in 25 years. How about that here at Busch Stadium?
Only one more year to go at this place.
That's why she decided to come.
Last year will be the grand finale with 1 out, nobody on. Remind you that home field advantage goes to the family arriving at the game in their all-new Ford Freestar. Now up to $6,000 cash back or 0% APR for 60 months. Only at your quality Ford stores. Your home run to Cardinal baseball fun. Marlon Anderson is at the plate. Marlon hit the ball right on the nose his last time up, but lined out to center, with Sanders at third and 2 out at the time.
Guys having a little fun. You know, when those great hitters make contact and they smell the wood burning.
Is that what happened with Carpenter?
Oh yeah, that's what Woody and the guys were trying to sit there and see if they could smell the
burnt wood.
The burnt wood when you make such great contact.
0-2 in a hurry on Anderson. Hitting .224 on the year, 6 home runs, a couple of game winners mixed in there. One very early at Arizona, and the other one off Danny Graves at Cincinnati. How long ago does it seem, as you recall, the home run that Marlon Anderson hit off Matt Manti in the desert against the Diamondbacks?
You know, some people may think it was a long time ago, but to me it just seemed like this season is just flying by.
Cardinals have 1 month to go They play in their 132nd game of the year.
You're having fun, and the Cardinals are having fun because of the win total. They can't wait to get to the ballpark. You know, they just can't wait to see their teammates and get out here and start working again and continue what's been a very, very special year.
With one out, here comes an 0-2. That's another hard hit ball, but just foul.
Rolen was kidding the other day because he has really struggled since July the 2nd. But he still is the Cardinals' best pinch hitter. He says, I'm just going to hit in the 9th inning. The heck with all these other stuff.
He has done that and done that well this year. I'm sure he'll be a big part of that Cardinal bench in October. Talked about it last night briefly that Cardinals will play this last month, and in particular the last 2 weeks, getting everything they hope ready for a strong push to the World Series. That's into center, 2 out in the inning. The base is empty. Larry Walker, who has homered and singled tonight, will walk in. What's on tap is brought to you by Budweiser. Grab a cold, fresh Budweiser. It's game time. Jake Peavy and Jeff Suppan, who is on the left, talking to John Mabry on the air at 6:30 tomorrow night on FSN Midwest with Cardinals Tonight. Dan McLaughlin. Walker is up to 317 now with his average, 3 out of 5 in this series. And a breaking ball misses from Eaton. Ball, 1 strike.
He missed a lot of time with his strained groin.
Or a groin grain. That's ripped foul down the right side. 1-2.
So he gets a pretty good look at this guy's delivery.
Yeah, I think this guy would just as soon pitch around Larry Walker, but there's a guy named Pujols hitting behind him.
Well, that's, you know, in other lineups you could do that, but not in this one.
It just gets harder as you go.
Trevor Hoffman was chuckling when he said Larry Walker in the 2nd spot.
Well, how many times did we have our hearts broken out in Denver, Colorado, watching this guy hit home runs for the Rockies against the Cardinals?
Well, remember a game right here, he hit 3 at Busch Stadium.
One of them was with a broken bat. Bat broke and he hit a home run into right. 2-2 from Eaton as he tries to drive Walker off the plate. Larry does not look scared. My first year in Louisville was 1989, and the big hot prospect for a very good Montreal Expos AAA team in Indianapolis was Larry Walker. He wore a big knee brace after having a procedure done on his knee. He came up with the Expos. One of the best pure hitters in the league for a long time. He's out here retired for the first time tonight. We go to the 6th inning in St. Louis behind Chris Carpenter. Pitching a 3-hit shutout. The Cardinals lead 3-0. Talk a little football this fall. America's #1 pregame show returns as our guys take you on the road from the opening kickoff all the way to Super Bowl 39 in Jacksonville. Fox NFL Sunday. Guzman trying to bunt his way on. Try as he might, he's 0 for 7 in this series thanks to the spring in the legs at the end of a long season for Mike Matheny. 1 out.
Not a bad play when you got the foot speed that he does, and that ball didn't even get out of the dirt area, and look how close it was. You can get in trouble jumping for the bag like that. Good way to hurt yourself.
Just did get Guzman at first, and now here's Loretta. Pretty good pitch, ball 1. Mark Loretta tonight is 0 for 1.
Pretty good game up in Montreal, still scoreless. Bottom of the 8th inning.
Again, Houston won today. They swept the Reds behind Oswalt. 9-3 was the final. And they start tonight. Houston does only 2.5 out in the wild card race. Boston's winning at home again over Anaheim 9-5. That's into right center field. Long run. Can Edmonds get there? Long way to go. Can't get to it. Did everything he could, and it's going to be a 1-out triple for Loretta. Carpenter's there to back up, so Loretta will have to hold at third, and Edmonds may have had the wind knocked out of him.
Well, what a great effort. He had a long way to go, and you just almost expect him to come up with it. We've seen so many highlight plays. Watch him leave his feet just beyond his reach. Get a good look here. Running hard just right off the end of the glove, but never anywhere near the webbing where he could hold on. So just a great effort, and he was almost playing him all the way around the other way, and that just outstanding effort. Gets it in there. It's like a minefield out there with all the divots.
It does. And Carpenter and Matheny had a meeting on the mound just to let Edmonds catch his breath out in center field and get everything situated again, and Edmonds just signaled in, I'm okay. Go ahead and throw. And now here come the Padres with a runner at third. 1 out, down by 3. They've got Giles at the plate. Breaking ball misses.
But, you know, look at the on deck hitter. Not that Terrence Long is a slouch or anything, but that's Nevin's spot after Giles.
Two and 0.
Watch Rob Piccolo, the third base coach. He's trying to accentuate, get down and slide, but now he's got to get out of the way of the ball. That's pretty athletic.
Very. Here's a 2-0 to Giles. Hit to first. A run will score. Pools, you never know. He faked the throw home and goes to the bag. It's 3-1. And I think in this spot, now Abbasi, the Cardinals will trade the out for the run to get Giles. Now you deal with Long with the bases empty, and you still lead by 2. That just was a straight triple by Loretta and an RBI ground out by Giles. With a count 2-0, you start thinking about Giles jacking one out of here and making it a 1-run game. Here is Long with 2 out, nobody on. And again, he's batting in the spot vacated by the ejected Phil Nevin, who argued about a strikeout in the 4th inning and continued to argue into the dugout. The home plate umpire was listening to him and probably listening for it and threw him out. Strike 1 on Long. Pinch hit last night, made an out.
This is an emotional game, and remember the Padres are emotionally involved in the wild card race, but you've got to think about team and responsibility.
Same spot for that foul ball. 0-2.
These two know each other from the American League, and it looks like that Carpenter's really attacking him up and in. Curveball. Look at bounce this one. Matheny trying to tell him that don't be afraid to.
They go to the 9th inning in Montreal. No score. The Cubs and the Expos. Cubs picked up Ben Grieve from the Milwaukee Brewers.
And Mike DeFelice.
Former Cardinal to back up.
They'll roll him over again. Fastball.
And Long a little late. Still 1-2.
94 miles an hour. Just challenge him. Carpenter does a good job of keeping the ball down. Get a lot of ground balls. Changeup. That was, I'm sure in the back of his mind he remembered the one that he threw to Casey on the first pitch that made him a loser. In the 6th inning at Cincinnati, only allowed 3 hits. Just a well-pitched game on both ends, but he lost 1-0.
A 1-2 to Long, skips in there. On deck is Klesko. Cardinals in the bottom of the 6th inning will have Pujols, Rolen, and Edmonds. Here's a 2-2 from Chris. That's high and away, full count.
He's thrown a couple breaking balls in this at bat that he didn't stay on top of, kind of casted out instead of pulling down. Fastball away.
And hit right at Edgar. One nice easy hop, and that'll do it for the Padres. You get a run. A one-out triple by Loretta, scores in the ground out by Giles. 3-1 Cardinals. Let's see what the heart of the order can do against Adam Eaton, who has settled down after a rocky first inning. That was the scouting report on him. Delivers a good breaking ball in for a strike over the inside corner to Pujols. We're underway in the bottom of the sixth, 3-1. The Cardinals are on top after getting 2 home runs in the first inning. Albert gets it toward the end of the bat and won't carry out. Giles takes care of it, 1 out. Our pitch by pitch feature brought to you by Chevrolet as we go back to the Terrence Long out at the top of the inning.
Pretty good at bat here as they keep on attacking him up and in the inside part of the plate. Then they work away with that breaking ball back inside, and he keeps on fouling off. Good at bat there. Remember, he got there was another one of those casted breaking balls, and eventually got him on a fastball, grounding to shortstop.
Scott Rolen hit a home run in the first inning. Let's try that again, says Adam Eaton. Rolen with that 2-run home run now has 32, and the Cardinals have a very good chance of getting another couple into that 40 home run club. Pujols is already there. Rolen at his pace should be there by the end of the year, and Edmonds is 2 away. Also have 3 guys in that lineup by the end with over 100 RBIs.
And the Cardinals now have 180 home runs hit on the season.
With 1 out, nobody on, a 1-1 to Scott. Hard hit, but right at Burrows on 1 hop. Nonchalant over to first, 2 out. With 2 out, nobody on, Edmonds will bat. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the St. Louis Cardinals, LLC. May not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of the game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals, LLC. With the bases empty, 2 out, here's Edmonds. 39 and 99 would be nice. Ball 1. He has 38 home runs and 98 RBI.
Jim's had his problems tonight, striking out twice, but
1-1.
his eyes lit up on that breaking ball. Has a little slower pace.
In the 7th inning, it'll be Klesko, Burrows, and Green for San Diego. They'll be trailing by at least 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Edmonds. Edmonds chatting with the home plate umpire Brian Gorman as he hops back in there. They want it way up. 2-2 from Eaton.
Now we've seen at times where Jim Edmonds, and he'll tell you he's not a pitch up that he doesn't like, but easy to swing through it. Catcher shaking no, fastball in.
You can really see Ramon Hernandez trying to take charge in this at bat and guide Eaton through it.
He was an all-star last year for the Oakland A's, Hernandez. They couldn't afford to keep him around. Another one of those guys that had to let go because of payroll constraints. Saying no. Now breaking ball.
Doesn't break, and it's 3-2. Renteria next.
Eaton now taking a little stroll, getting his thoughts together. Throw a fastball or the breaking ball? Throw the breaking ball.
Here it is on 3-2. Edmonds draws a walk. So for the first time, Edmonds is on. And for Eaton, that is his 3rd walk of the night. See if Renneria can make the pay.
Another aspect to Edmonds, where seeing the ball much better, taking those walks, and punishing pitchers when they throw him strikes in the zone. Now Eaton just called out his catcher.
Renneria now. It's Sanders on deck. Edgar tonight is 0 for 2. He's flied out. He's grounded out. The Sports List is the new show that counts down the 10 best and worst of everything and anything in sports. Tomorrow, find out who are the greatest athletes that never won a championship ring. The Sports List with host Summer Sanders tomorrow at 5, only on FSN.
Got a few Cubs on that list.
Uh-huh. That's ball one low.
Joe Torre, as a player.
You are, I mean, you and I are
Thinking
simpatico right
you're
now.
thinking the same thing?
Yeah. He didn't do it until he took over the Yankees in '96, and now he seems to do it every year. Never did it as a player. One ball, one strike on Edgar. One ball, one strike pitch. Broken bat. Khalil Green in the hole. Long throw. Had a chance to go the short way and decided to show off the arm. In case there are any voters here, they'll give him a vote for Rookie of the Year. Good play. 3-1 after 6.
Coming through, coming through.
Coming through, people. Coming through.
I'm opening him up. I just wanted to try that new Thai place on Main.
You're watching Fox Sports Net.
This portion of Cardinal baseball on FSN Midwest is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Jack in the Box now accepts MasterCard and Visa at most restaurants. And by Geico, a 15-minute call can save you 15% or more on car insurance. This could be the biggest inning of the night for Chris Carpenter with a score 3-1 seventh inning, and you're still in an area in this Padre lineup where they've got some power with Plesko, Burrows, and then the rookie Green, who's hit 11 home runs. Leading by 2, Carpenter misses with ball 1. The pitch count for Carpenter has not been an issue now for a couple of months. I mean, he's been able to go as long as he can, and they get a good reading of what he's got left. I'm sure they are willing to ask Carpenter, and he is honest with them. And 81 pitches at this point in the game. That's terrific.
It was 120 plus his last time out, averaging 97. He's had 2 different games over 120 pitches.
Plesko lines it into left. Bad break for Ryan. Good break for the Cardinals. 1 out. That ball was tattooed, and Sanders was waiting for it.
Dave McKay was telling me that he thinks that Reggie is a much better left fielder than he is right fielder.
That's interesting.
So making that trade just helped your defense even more.
Walker's in right. Sanders is in left. 1 out. Here's Sean Burrows.
You remember his father?
Yes. I'm old enough to remember his father.
1974 American League MVP. I played with Jeff in Atlanta. Their facial resemblance is remarkable.
Here's an 0-1 to Sean Burrows. 1 ball, 1 strike. This was a kid that everybody wanted to get their hands on. Padres got him, and he struggled last year, but they're excited to have him for a long time. 2 balls and a strike.
Well, he's one of those kids that's always going to have some ailments, some physical problems, but they think he can hit, and pretty good all around defensively.
3-1 is the count on Burrows. Let's see if Carpenter challenges Burrows with a count of 3-1. Here it comes. Fastball and a foul ball. That's a good sign for Carpenter. Burrows had to know it was coming and couldn't put it in play. The 3-2 pitch. Line into left. There's Reggie. 2 up, 2 down. We have talked to you before about a real special now 7-year-old Matthew Pearl. He is at the ballpark tonight, by the way, and he needs a bone marrow match. It could be you. His counts have dropped and desperately needs your help. You can come out and support Mike Matheny and your St. Louis Cardinals as they sponsor the 2004 Pitch for Life Bone Marrow Drive. It's on Saturday, September 4th, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. at Carpenter's Union Hall. That's on Hampton Avenue. It's free to the first 800 people there to be tested. That's low. 1 ball, 1 strike. See if you're a match for a gorgeous little boy named Matthew Pearl.
I met Matthew tonight, and I played golf with his father. And actually the Mike Matheny golf tournament. And a wonderful family. His sister is also afflicted with this ailment. But Matthew is the more serious one, and we need to help him out immediately.
Here comes a 2-1 pitch to Khalil Green. 2-2. Well, if this was a hurdle and a test for Carpenter, so far so good with 2 out, nobody on, and 2 strikes on the hitter Khalil Green. The Cardinal bullpen, which sent 2 to the mound last night, Tavares and King, they're quiet as a breaking ball stays up and in, full count.
I don't think anybody wakes up out there in the bullpen until about the 8th inning.
They don't need to. 3 years ago, they were ready to pitch in the 2nd.
8th pitch.
Here's a 3-2 pitch, and that's a foul. Cal Eldred was not with the ball club yesterday, tending to some family issues, and he is back with the team tonight.
Death on his wife's side, so we're condolences there.
3-2 to Green, up the middle, a 2-out base hit, and that will allow the tying run to come to the plate, and that person will be Ramon Hernandez.
Happy 86th birthday to Vera Holland. Been a big fan for 67 years, and she's in attendance tonight. Happy birthday.
With 2 out, here is Hernandez. Rona's hit 14 home runs this season.
Dave Duncan out to talk to Carpenter. Stirring in the bullpen now finally. Flores. Randy Flores will get up and start throwing.
Butterflies have to be bouncing around after a very good year at AAA Memphis. He could make his Cardinal debut. It's Hernandez now. It's the pitcher spot next. Scott Linebrink, a right-hander, is getting ready for the Padres in their bullpen. So the wheels start to turn here in the 7th. See if Carpenter can finish off the Padres with Hernandez at the plate. Carpenter is keeping an eye on Khalil Green, the runner at first. Green this season is still in 4. He's 4 out of 6. Opposite field, base hit, 2 on with 2 out. And all of a sudden the Padres have the tying runs on.
Robert Fick is going to pinch hit, but let's take a look at Hernandez. Pitch out away and kind of an inside out stroke a little bit. Gets it in the right side, and here the Padres is Eaton pitched very well. It's just that first inning. Remember, Trevor Hoffman told me he's the #1 guy, but he has trouble in the first inning, and that's the only inning he had problems with today.
3 runs and only 4 hits Only 2 after the first inning, and they want to make sure that Flores is ready out in that bullpen. 2 on, 2 out, and Robert Fick, who last year had a good year with Atlanta, this year wasn't doing anything with Detroit and was cut loose, picked up by San Diego, went to the minor leagues and was just recalled. Here he is with a chance to do some damage for his new team.
He had a brother that I'm not sure if he still is, but was a scout in the Cardinal organization.
Vic pinch hitting here for Eaton, who went 6 innings, 3 runs, 4 hits, walked 3, struck out 6. All of the runs in the first inning, a home run by Walker with 1 out and a 2-run shot by Rolen. The Cardinals since then have been shut down. 3-1 in the 7th, 2 on, 2 out. Vic takes ball 2.
Chuck Fick. His brother is a scout in the Cardinal organization.
Runners on at first and second. Fick will be looking for a pitch to hammer on 2-1. It's high, 3-1 with a rookie Guzman on deck.
Tony pacing. I'm not too sure I would feel comfortable with Flores facing Guzman with Carpenter still throwing well.
2 on, 2 out. 3-1 pitch is on the outside corner. That call could have gone either way. Full count, and the runners will go. Green off second and Hernandez off first. Back-to-back hits with 2 out, giving the Padres life here in the 7th. Good numbers for Fick in his career against Carpenter. That action in the American League. Here's a 3-2. And we'll do it again. Green will go back to second. Hernandez back to first.
As all looking on, trying to offer encouragement, but also trying to learn from these pitching situations,
including tomorrow night's starter Jeff Suppan. Fick had hopped out of there. Carpenter didn't realize time had been called and started to work it toward the plate. Had to stop halfway.
Defense all playing behind the runners.
3-2, runners go, and that is foul. We send our condolences to relatives and family members of Elsie Korn, 92-year-old, who passed away about a week ago and loved Cardinal baseball. Knew the entire lineup. Favorite player Jim Edmonds. Edmonds tonight doesn't have a hit. Almost made a spectacular catch trying to back up Chris Carpenter. See if Carpenter can get out of this 7th. 3-2 pitch. He does. Blows it by Fick. And Carpenter pumps his fist a bit as he exits to our right. Carpenter blows through Fick, and the Padres in the 7th. San Diego strands 2, and they still trail by 2. Time to stretch. Oh.
Yes, sir.
Do people around baseball realize how good this Cardinal pitching staff is? They came in tied for #1 in the major leagues in ERA, and tonight is the 80th quality start by this rotation that gets no credit.
No, they do not. They don't realize it, but I think some of the opponents may not. They keep on saying, where's the #1 guy? Well, right now it's Carpenter. Tomorrow it's going to be Suppan. Last night was Williams. These guys just keep on going out there and doing the thing. But
and if they don't know it now, Al, somebody will know by the end of October. That's my forecast.
I'll tell you what, you'll talk to a lot of people and they will tell you this team is very capable of going all the way. You don't hear that often said about teams, but the pitching staff is an integral part. They don't walk anybody. They've got the fewest walks. They're starting to keep the ball in the ballpark and let this good defense help them out.
Call to the Bullpen is brought to you by the St. Louis Renaissance Grand Hotel, the official hotel of FSN Midwest. So this guy with Houston, Scott Linebrink,
They're very, very pleased with what he has done. Opponents only batting .216 against him. He's pitched a lot of good baseball for the Padres.
First up is Reggie, then Mike Matheny, then potentially a pinch hitter as Tavares gets loose for the Cardinals in the bullpen. Breaking ball is hit into the corner. That's another hanger, and Reggie likes those. He will cruise into second base for the leadoff double. Good start to the seventh. Sanders is on base for the third time tonight. Betty Logan is tonight's merchandise prize winner in the Hyundai Long Drive Inning Sweepstakes. The Cardinals hit a home run in the seventh. Betty Logan qualifies for the Hyundai Santa Fe drawing in September. To register, visit a St. Louis area Hyundai dealer. Here is Matheny, and they had him bunting way back in the second. With Carpenter coming up, they'll have him bunting, I would imagine, with a pinch hitter coming up.
Do you know we committed the ultimate sin last night?
What happened?
We had a home run in the seventh inning last night, and we didn't mention it. We had two of them in the seventh inning. Edmonds and Renteria went back to back, and we forgot to mention our contest winner, who really jumped up there in her chances.
Does that mean that they get two cards in there?
I think so.
Drawing?
Why not?
No, you can't start making up rules now.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, and that drawing is going to be on September 15th or 16th. And I'm helping out.
1 ball, 1 strike on Matheny, who's up there trying to get Reggie Sanders over to third.
Why'd you look at me like it was Florida?
What?
When I said I was helping out.
I'm proud of it.
In the balloting.
Oh, yeah. No hanging chads.
No hanging chads. It's all honest. You get a key, whichever key opens the door, it's yours.
That's low. 2-1 on Matheny. Cardinal bullpen is busy, so it appears that Carpenter is finished after going 7, allowing a run on 6 hits. Cardinals have only 5 hits, but 2 of them left the park.
Tavares is warming up. Carpenter's pitched great baseball. Let's see if he can get a little more cushion.
Runner is stealing third, and Reggie Sanders will have to go back to second. He might have stolen third standing up. Now he's going to tag and go back to third, and hustling, make it over to third.
How about that? Joe, you're right. With Earls playing in, I think there was no doubt that he would have had the bag stolen, and this way he just needs some oxygen. It's only 90 feet, Reggie, but he ran about 250. There he's taking off on the pitch. He's at the cutout. Now he has to go back and tag up. He gets there. In the Olympics, don't they call that a relay race?
That was, I remember doing that as a little portly child in grade school with the racers trying to lay him on a line. A shuttle run, that's what they called it.
The shuttle run, yes.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Oh, God, I hated the shuttle run.
Now remember, the Padres have no left-handers in their bullpen. So they can't even think about bringing in a southpaw to face Womack.
Remember, the Cardinals and any bench now has so many more options you can go to, and with Langford back, McKay, along with Cedeno, Molina, Luna, Mabry, and Taguchi, it's going to be Womack after this base running play by Reggie Sanders.
He make you tired?
Just watch it. Matheny gets the runner over to third. Womack's trying to knock him home.
You know what would have been cruel? If that ball got away at third base and he would have had to run home.
It would have been very pleasant, though, if he would have made it.
If he would have made it.
Those legs might not have made it all the way to the plate. Here's an 0-1 to Womack, who's driven in 34. Go down to third, and Reggie's got to be on his toes again.
You take that lead and you try and bounce off with a pitch, but you've got to be always alert of the pickoff play. The defense, Earls snuck in behind him, but Reggie was alert.
Cardinals have tried to squeeze once tonight. Womack is jammed, and That's out number 2. So 2 times tonight the Cardinals have failed to get Sanders in from third with less than 2 out. Now it takes a hit from Marlon Anderson. Boy, it's hard to win a wild card or a division or in the postseason without a left-hander in the bullpen. It's hard to find, but
if you don't have a good one, if you don't have a good one, you better. I've always said that, you know, if you make good pitches, you got a chance to get anybody out. Just because you have a lefty-lefty matchup, you still have to make good pitches.
Anderson shortened up, took a strike. That got the attention of Sean Burroughs, the third baseman. They're in the 11th inning at Montreal. The Cubs and the Expos, no score. Double shutouts. Here's an 0-1. Anderson takes strike 2.
Linebrink just going after guys. Good stuff.
Reggie Sanders hit a double, went to third, and the fly ball by Matheny stayed at third as Womack grounded out, and the Cardinals need a hit from Anderson. Instead, they get a strikeout, and Linebrink gets around a leadoff double. Carpenter is finished. We go to the 8th, 3-1, St. Louis. Came on the air talking about grit and determination and hustle and all the little things that have gone into this Cardinal season to make them clearly the best team in the big leagues this season. The most consistent, the most dynamic. Cardinals keep Womack in the game to help their defense. He's at second base. The pitcher will take over in the leadoff spot. Reggie Sanders exemplified all that we talked about 2 hours ago when we came on the air and talked about all the base running and the little things. He showed us how hard he's willing to work in the bottom of the 7th, but all of his efforts went for naught. The Cardinals still lead it by only 2, and this call to the bullpen is brought to you by St. Louis Renaissance Grand Hotel, the official hotel of FSN Midwest.
See where he's worked 3 times. Working the 4th time this week. Pitched a scoreless inning yesterday, only a strikeout, and he surpassed 1,000 career innings last Tuesday.
First pitch is a ball to Ramon Vasquez, who is pinch hitting for Guzman. Vasquez is hitting only 106. He does have 3 home runs in his 47 at bats. There's a strike, 1-1. For all that Julian Tavares has done this year and all the innings that he has pitched, Julian has allowed only 1 home run all season in 54 innings in 66 games. It's wide, 2-1.
One of the real reasons why they acquired him is that total of home runs allowed. Last year he was very efficient in that department, and again this year.
That's a good piece of hitting by Vasquez. Just sticks the bat out and goes down the left field line for a leadoff single, and here come the Padres again. Cardinal Baseball, a production of Bud Sports, and is an exclusive presentation of FSN Midwest. Walker has a home run tonight and another hit. Here is Loretta with Ray King getting loose for Giles, who's up next.
These Padres, 500 team at home, but their 2nd best road record to the Cardinals when they're away from their new ballpark. Ray King said.
Ball 1.
Kind of game we may see 2, if not 3 pitchers in this inning.
Leadoff man is on. 1-0 pitch is high. 2-0 on Loretta. On 2-0, Loretta hits it in the air to right, and that's easy for Walker. 1 on, 1 out. That's a big out, and that might be the last pitch of the night for Tavares. You've got 2 lefties coming up thanks to the ejection of Phil Nevin back in the 4th. And if Ray King is ready, you would think he's getting ready for this right now.
And got the affirmative that he was ready. Doesn't take him any time at all, and they'll bring in Ray.
So King is set to come in. Tavares will give up the baseball. 1 on, 1 out. Cardinals lead by 2. St. Louis fans, visit STLCardinals.com, the #1 site for live game pitch-by-pitch coverage. MLB.tv and MLB.com game day audio. STLCardinals.com, where baseball is always on. They're talking baseball, and on the mound is a new pitcher for the Cardinals. 3rd of the night. He worked last night. He works tonight. This call to the bullpen is brought to you by the St. Louis Renaissance Grand Hotel, the official hotel. Broadcasts on FSN Midwest.
23 holds for Ray King. As you see how frequently he has worked, but very few pitches. So that keeps you sharp. He's 23 holds are 6th best in the National League. Recorded holds in all 3 games of Pittsburgh last weekend. He's team leader in games pitched. This is number 71, and left-handed batters only batting .148 with 0 home runs. Keep that streak intact.
Giles first up, and he takes a bouncer in there that Matheny doesn't see, and that allows Vasquez to get down to second. That'll be a wild pitch, and it's a runner at second, 1 out. Matheny muttering to himself as he gets back behind the plate.
See, throws it right in the dirt, but you see he didn't drop down like he normally does and smother that ball, and it gets away from him. Wasn't sure where it was, and that allowed the runner to get into scoring position.
1-0. 2-0. Jason Isringhausen is getting loose.
That's why I'm a little surprised with.
That's a broken bat flare into left center field for a hit. Edmonds juggles it. The runners will hold at first and third. And now with Jay Payton coming up as a pinch hitter, we may get another pitching change. Bad break literally for Ray King as that ball broke the bat of Giles, and that was enough to let it fall into left center.
Right on the end of the bat, so it takes some of the distance out of it. They hold up the runner, but Edmonds had bobbled the ball, but he does make up for it very quickly as he gets that ball back in as if the runner was attempting. And you got runners at the corner, so still a ground ball, and you can turn 2 and get out of this inning without them scoring.
Jay Payton pinch hits and takes a strike.
Padres are wondering, did they make a mistake? Did they get fooled by Jay Payton's Colorado numbers?
First time these two have ever faced each other. That's low. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Rays still out there is Klesko is the on-deck hitter. Another lefty.
On 1-1, Payton takes the ball. So King has at least this hitter plus one more. You would think, but the key was trying to get Giles. It didn't happen. And now with the Padres using their bench, they've got a golden opportunity to do some damage here in the 8th. Double play would get the Cardinals out of the inning. That's a little chopper to third. It's going to stay fair. Throw to first. Safe. And it's a one-run game. Two poorly hit balls, and the Padres have closed it to 3-2. And they have 2 on with only 1 out.
Just didn't hit it hard enough for it to get to Scott quick enough. Turning 2 was never an option, and just with his exceptional throwing arm and his athleticism, it still could not make a play with the running speed of Jay Payton. So second run scores on this little dribbler down the third baseline, and now they have runners at first and second and only 1 out. That run charged to Tavares.
Klesko, 2 on 1 out. Klesko takes the ball outside. The Cardinals in the bottom of the 8th will have Walker, Pujols, and Rolen. What will the score be? The Cardinals clinging now to a 1-run lead. Ray King with a couple of bad breaks. The last 2 hits. Klesko checked his swing, and it's 2-0.
Rays falling behind almost every hitter and not pleased. Tony down talking. Izzy standing up there. They may get another somebody else up.
Here's a 2-0 to Klesko. He was ready to rip on 2-0. It's 2-1.
And they'll get Cal Eldred up in case this lead slips away, and you wouldn't want to use Izzy maybe in a tie game.
Here's a 2-1. 2-2. Klesko hitting .267, 53 RBIs, and it's up to King to try to get him. Get out of this 8th inning maintaining the lead. Carpenter pitched the first 7. Tavares, now King here in the 8th.
There was a time when he was almost helpless against left-handers.
2 out and a big strikeout for King after coming back from a 2-0 count.
Ryan Klesko now this year hitting .329 against left-handers, .249 against right-handers. So it's improved dramatically, but you wouldn't know from that at bat.
Now Isringhausen is just standing for the most part and watching. If the San Diego Padres don't tie this game and somehow load the bases and Khalil Green comes to the plate, Isringhausen will come in and pitch as Burrows takes the ball low.
Interesting thing, as you said, Izzy kind of standing out there. Talking with Trevor Hoffman, he asked about Izzy. He said, I used to just watch him just throw and throw and throw and throw. And remember, after that first year, Marty Mason was keeping track and said, man, you threw 3 times as many pitches in the bullpen as you ever needed to. And it's something they've taught him or helped educate him into, getting to a certain point and then backing off.
Here's a 1-0. Burrows, pretty good pitch, 2-0.
Ray King kind of subtle way throwing the ball back, saying, gee, where was that one?
Cubs got 2 in the top of the 11th at Montreal. Now the Expos are threatening in the bottom of the 11th. Troy Hawkins pitching for the Cubs as they try to win that series against the Expos.
Florida won their game against New York, 5-4.
Here's a 2-0. 2-1. Now Burrows didn't like it. Sean tonight 1 for 3, 2 for 6 in this series. He could tie it with a hit. 2-2. Here comes the crowd trying to help King get out of this eighth. We'll have to throw another.
Good battle going on. John doesn't have much power. There's 2 home runs on the year. They think he's only 23 years of age. As he gets older, they think he'll develop into a 20-25 home run man.
Another 2-2. Full count, and the runners will go.
Try and make your pitch. Try and get him to go after that breaking ball. Good batting eye, and now you run the count full. Base hit now could potentially give the Padres the lead.
3-2 runners go, and Burrows grounds to short. Renteria has to throw in a hurry. Got him, and the inning is over. The Cardinals bend, do not break in the eighth. They hang on to the lead. It's only 1. Big bats coming up for St. Louis. 2 more home runs tonight. That means $200 more for the Suntrip Automotive family. Win one for the Kids Charity Fund. Every Cardinal home run hit. Larry Walker went deep first, and then after a walk to Pujols, Rolen went deep. That made it 3-0. That was all the way back in the first. And now as we go to the bottom of the eighth, it's 3-2. Cardinals leading by only 1. Here's Larry Walker. Linebrink is back for another inning. Ball 1. The Cardinals have missed 2 chances. Wasted 2 leadoff doubles by Reggie Sanders tonight. Adam at third with 1 out. Could not get the run home. Both times. Walker has 11 home runs this season. 2-1.
Watch no wasted movement at all from Larry Walker.
That's into shallow left. Gary Robinson, the former Cardinal, gets it. 1 out. Walker will end the night 2 out of 4 unless we go to extra innings. Here comes Albert.
Hey Joe, the Yankees won.
And the Red Sox are up by 5 in the ninth. If they win, they're going to have a 3.5 game lead in the wild card. They've started to pull away in the AL wildcard race, the Red Sox. And they'll still only be 3.5 out. They won 9 or 10 in a row now. They have won 8 in a row. They'll go for a sweep against Anaheim tomorrow.
Looks like it's over. Montreal fell a little short. 2-1. Cubs win. How about these numbers? 4 for 6. Off of this pitcher.
In the air to left field. Back is Robinson. Another night. Another home run. Number 42. Two-run shot in the 8th last night and a solo blast in the 8th tonight.
This is a big one. This little more breathing room as off-speed pitch up in the zone, and he just turns on it. Ball just sat up there, and it doesn't sit long.
Rolen takes a fastball high for ball 1. Cubs, who are probably hanging around their post-game spread after an 11-inning game in Montreal, are watching up there, happy that Albert just went deep.
Think so.
I know so.
Oh.
2-0.
Oh, there. I see where you're coming from. Forget about the rivalry. Think about competition in the wild card.
Absolutely. Here is a 2-0. Good rip by Scott. 2-1. Cubs are still on top in the wild card by virtue of their win tonight. The Giants are just about underway. They host Colorado tonight. They're a half game out at the moment. Padres would be a game and a half out if they lose tonight. 3-1 on Rolen. It's going to be a lonely night wearing a Cubs batting helmet at Busch Stadium. Good play by Oquendo. Oquendo's no dummy. Three balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, nobody on. Guy standing up 2 seats from that young lady saying, hey, what about me? Got no chance. With 1 out, Rolen waits and takes a walk. 1 on, 1 out. Coming up right after this game, the Midwest Sports Report. Dan McLaughlin goes 1-on-1 with tonight's star of the game. Also tonight, see for yourself the confidence of once and future star Rick Ankiel. Check in on Corey Spinks. He gets set for a return to the ring this weekend. Andy Bennis joins the FSN Midwest team for our expanded postgame show. That's tonight, right after this one on the Midwest Sports Report. 1 on, 1 out for Edmonds. Ball 1 from Linebrink.
Didn't walk this last time up, but time for him to join in on part of the fun.
He had plenty of it last night with 2 home runs. Tonight 2 strikeouts to go with that walk.
He reached base 5 times last time.
Count evens at a ball and a strike. Runner at first, 1 out. Edmonds. Strike 2. He sees a pitch coming in at the birds on the bat, chest high. His eyes light up, and he is anxious to swing. And a lot of times, it's not too high, can get it up and out of here.
It's amazing sometimes how he gets on top of that pitch that's up.
Now a 1-2 delivery instead of check on Rolen, who has a short lead. It's only 9:30. The Cardinals and Padres played a 2.5-hour game last night, and they're on pace for another.
Phil Nevin was telling me that they average about 220 at their home ballpark.
Phil doesn't like that.
No, he doesn't. He likes the playing surface.
Well, if there's any place that you can grow grass in the United States, San Diego is the place.
And they say it's gotten a little fairer with the warmer weather. It's deep out into right center, but you can hit it down both lines, and it's starting to travel a little better to left field.
You have to be anxious to see it.
Yeah, I mean, they say it's just beautiful.
Right downtown.
Right downtown, right, you know, with walking distance from our hotel. Changeup.
On 1 and 2. Edmonds gets a piece.
Sequence, last couple pitch, fastball, changeup. Fastball away, try and put him away.
And he chased it. 3rd time he struck out tonight, 2 down. 2nd strikeout for Linebrink, who took over last inning. Isringhausen has had a month to warm up out of the bullpen. Through during the top of this 8th, and he has been cranking it here in the bottom of the 8th. He has a 2-run lead at this very moment, thanks to a home run here in the 8th. The first scoring by the Cardinals since the first. It was hit by Albert. It means the 2, 3, and 4 hitters for the Cardinals tonight have all gone deep. And that's it for the runs. Breaking ball is in for a strike. 1-1 on Edgar Renteria. So a night after the 5, 6, and 7 hitters did it for the Cardinals in game 1 of this series, the Padres get a taste of the 2, 3, and 4 hitters for the Cardinals. A 1-1 to Renteria. Left side comes up for Burrows, and that sends this game into the 9th. Thanks to another home run by Albert Pujols, the Cardinals have a little more room to breathe. The Soto blast makes it 4-2. Izzy will take over. Cardinals trying to beat the Padres. That one spins out of here off the bat of Albert Pujols and into the Padres bullpen. Linebrink, who's been so good for the Padres out of the bullpen this season, is taken deep by Albert. And it's 4-2 as we go into the 9th inning. And our thanks as always to our great crew here in St. Louis at FSN Midwest. Night after night, great shots. And here is Isringhausen, who has not worked since Saturday.
Well rested. And of course on that road trip he was busy. He earned his 3rd save of the road trip and 11th of the month of August. He's got a career high now of 38, and he saves in each of his last 11 appearances. Sure would like to see that continue. 2nd in the National League. He was 38 saves, 1 away from Florida's Benitez, unless he got one here tonight.
First pitch in for a strike to Khalil Green. Green has a hit tonight, 274 average. A tough out. The 0-1 is in the dirt.
Home run eased Tony's mind a little bit, but he's still pacing.
An easy play for Womack, who has to charge. Slipped a little, but still got the out. Brent Stover is sitting behind a desk, ready to go. Brent, what's coming up on the Midwest Sports Report?
Thanks, guys. Right after the game on the Busch Light Midwest Sports Report, we'll have the best Cards post-game coverage in town, player interviews, LaRussa Live, and your phone calls for Big John Hadley at 1-888-RING-FOX. But now back to Joe and Al.
Thank you, Brent. 1 out, nobody on for Ramon Hernandez, who had followed Green with a 2-out hit. His own after Green's 2-out hit in the 7th, putting 2 on, 2 out against Carpenter, and then Carpenter came back to strike out Robert Fick. His 5th strikeout of the night, and all of this, if Isringhausen can get the save, would give Mr. Carpenter win number 14.
How about the balance? Cardinals were trying to win their 44th game at home. They've already run 44 games on the road.
0-2 on Ramon Hernandez. 2 former Oakland A's going at it here.
Change up.
And Rolen. That was not an easy play. Tough hop, high throw, 2 out.
Nice job by Poole to the other end.
Bud Light play of the game. The first swing of the night from Larry Walker, a 1-out home run. Brought to you by Bud Light. Fresh, smooth, real. It's all here. Isringhausen has really stepped it up here in the 2nd half.
That'd be 12 straight saves. I said change up, but he's got a split finger.
Hansen pinch hitting with 2 out, ball 1. Here's another tough out. Just picked up recently by the Padres. One on Hansen.
Best team in baseball.
Hands down. A 1-1. In the air, right center field. Edmonds trying to go get it. That's another win. Number 88. 44 games over the 500 mark. And a 1-2-3 dial-it-up save for Isringhausen. Carpenter gets his 14th. The Cardinals hit 3 home runs for all their runs and win in a final of 4-2. Midwest Sports Report coming up right now. For Dan and Al, I'm Joe. See you in a sec. Center field might go. Back at the wall. Rolen has left the yard.
Now on the Busch Light Midwest Sports Report. Right back to Busch Stadium for player interviews. Tony La Russa live. Analysis from Joe Buck and Al Raboski and Andy Bennis. And your phone calls with John Hadley at 1-888-RING-FOX. Rick Ankiel on being back with a big club. Plus Kerry Robinson on leaving St. Louis.
Now, your Midwest Sports Report, presented by Busch Light.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. He's Brent Stover. I'm Rob King. It is another victorious Cardinals post-game edition of the Busch Light Midwest Sports Report.
That's right. Coming up, the stories you just heard about in a complete Cards Padres wrap-up, and we start right back at Busch Stadium. Let's check out the highlights, a couple of them from this game. And welcome back, first and foremost, Rick Ankiel. Great to see him in a Cardinal uniform again. And Cards go to work early. Bottom of the first, Larry Walker, deep center. His 5th home run as a Redbird. It's 1-0 Cards. And after Albert Pujols walks, Scott Rolen gets into one. Just one section to the left of that previous home run. That's his 32nd of the year. 3-zip. Chris Carpenter gets Phil Nevin looking at an 0-2 fastball. Good-looking pitch. Nevin would get tossed after that pitch for arguing balls and strikes. 3-0. At that point, and then they went on to win the final of 4-2.
All right, Dan McLaughlin is standing by at the scene, brought to you by Ace Mortgage. Dan, take it away.
All right, guys, thank you very much. Cardinals win it 4-2. Mike Matheny here behind the plate for Chris Carpenter in that 7th inning. A key spot. That last pitch he throws, 95 miles an hour and a strikeout. Gutsy performance by him tonight.
You know, he's just been so consistent for us this year, and it's amazing that he's still got that left in the tank. I think it's a tribute to his workout and his staying in shape, because he still looked good there in the 7th. But it's also good that we can bring in the bullpen and let them do their thing.
Albert Pujols, another home run tonight. You worked out with him during the offseason. You've seen him up close. Is anything he's doing right now amaze you?
Yeah, every day. He's a freak of nature, and I said it all winter when I was trying to work out with him. But he's amazing, just how quick his hands are. I was thinking the other day how I'd pitch him if I was playing against him. I'm not real sure, but you just got to tip your hat to the things that he can do, and I'm sure glad he's on our side.
I know a lot of fans excited about Rick Ankiel coming to St. Louis and what he can bring to the table. He had a bullpen. The guys were raving about it. What do you expect to see out of Rick?
Expecting to see that stuff that everybody's raving about. You know, we're just so happy for him, and I've said it a couple times, and I hope it comes across the right way. But you know, in there we've talked about it. I think we're a little bit more happy for him than we are for us. We know that he'll be a benefit to this team, and he'll definitely help us out. But just to see him get some reward for everything that he's been working through, and it's been a long road, and he's still got a ways to go. Got some things to improve on, and he's really worked hard to get where he is right now, so we're extremely happy for him.
By the way, it was a good bunt. You had a good bunt tonight.
That's why we're talking right now.
Exactly.
That's why you brought me on the show, is a good bunt.
Mike Matheny, thank you. Okay. All right, guys, that's Mike Matheny. He said, why are you bringing me over here? All I did was have a good bunt, but as you guys know, he is so much more to this team, the heart and soul behind that plate. Joe and Al?
Yeah, you're right, Dan, and we talk about that night after night. You can talk to Mike Matheny at the end of every game. There's no doubt about that. And just a note on Rick Ankiel, all those guys in the bullpen and the dugout, they look at Rick like a little brother, and they can't wait to put their arm around him and say, well done, kid, when he gets that chance out on the mound coming up soon, I'm sure.
And I'm sure the first thing they're going to do is, after that, they're going to say, okay, he's just one of the guys. And that's that's going to make him even more pleased.
We came on the air tonight talking about the grit, the determination, the way the Cardinals play the game, and it shows up tonight. No surprise, it shows up literally every game these guys play, which for the course of a long summer is remarkable.
It is remarkable, and if you talk to Tony La Russa, that's what he's most proud of, is they keep on grinding. They play hard. They're very good at coming from behind, but they play every aspect. Last night's game, he talked about the defense. He wanted to talk about the defense was so good, but what he really wants to talk about is how proud he is of his team.
We saw the effort by Jim Edmonds diving into right center field. You see Reggie Sanders, a guy who's played this game a long time. If you looked at this team, you'd think it were the Cardinals that were fighting for a wild card spot or fighting to try to get back in a race. Not a team that, if you want to be realistic about it, is coasting in the NL Central.
No, that word is not part of their vocabulary. They know how to play and grind it out, and it is such a long season. There's emotionals, ups and downs. Everybody is in that dugout is feeling a little bit of ouchy, and yet they come out here and they give that solid effort. That's why the Cardinal fans are so behind them.
That's it. Another night, another win. 88 on the season against only 44 losses. Cardinals go for the sweep tomorrow night right here on FSN Midwest. That's it from the ballpark. Let's go back to the studio.
All right, guys, thanks very much. The Cardinals finish off the best August since Busch Stadium opened in 1966. They come right back in September with a win. Still to come, Tony La Russa's live post-game comments, reactions from the Cards locker room, a wrap-up from Dan McLaughlin and Andy Bennis, and your phone calls to the John